Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and today I thought we'd talk a little bit about the formation system and Gunsmoke Frontline, as there's some things I really hadn't thought about when I kind of discussed it the last time in building out your teams. But before we get into that, I thought I'd mention that with my platoon, I'm currently actually recruiting. I have 2 openings, and we'll actually have 2 more open probably towards the end of Gunsmoke Frontline. So anyone that is looking for a platoon, just go ahead and join my Discord, which I will have in the description, and put it in the recruitment post, and I will try and fill it out as soon as possible. I mean, the only requirements is that you play daily and do your basically all of the platoon tasks every day, which when Gunsmoke's not going on, that's just the essential tasks. With Gunsmoke, that just means doing the 3 hits on the platoon boss in order to maximize the XP here, because we want to try and get to level 9 as soon as possible so we can get the last level for Papa Shah's weapon. But now let's go ahead and get into the formation system here and what you kind of want to think about when it comes to Gunsmoke Frontline. Now, I am starting to actually work on building these out for Gunsmoke Frontline, and it was one thing I hadn't really taken into consideration. And that is the fact on Gunsmoke Frontline, you can only bring 4 of your units, and then you borrow 1. And so for a lot of platoons, like mine included, you're almost always going to be borrowing a Klukai V6. Unless you have a V6 yourself, then you'll use your own V6 on one of them and borrow the V6 Klukai on the 2 others, at least for now, until there's a case where maybe another unit may be the better one to bring. But I think for a majority of people and a majority of the platoons right now, Klukai is the best borrow unit for the group. And what that brings is the thought process of which ones should you put your Klukai in. So like right now, I have a V6 Klukai, so I have her in here. But this is also taking into consideration other units as well. I'm just using Klukai as an example here because I know a lot of people don't have V6 Klukai. But she's the one case where I'm having to think about it. And that is, I borrow a Klukai on the Burn team. I actually use my own personal Klukai with my kind of mixed team that has Mishti and Peridia. A borrowed Peridia on that one. And so she's not actually going to be in the Burn team when I do Gunsmoke Frontline. And so with that, I was thinking, well, right now I have this set up where it's the maximum damage if I use this entire team. The problem is I'm not going to be using Klukai for sure when we do Gunsmoke Frontline. So I actually want to take some of the pieces off of her. I don't want her to be at her best in this one, which means I need to start moving some of the stuff around. And the person that I think I should move it to is going to be Sharky. One example of that is going to be potentially the barrel here. She has my second best barrel in the Burn team. She has the best one in my normal team, but I have the best one on my QJ currently. But this one I actually want to move to my Sharky because my Sharky does not have a perfect one. She has a good one, but not a perfect one. And so, taking into consideration, even though this is going to lower the overall damage capability of the entire Burn team as a whole in 6 units, this is going to maximize the damage for my Gunsmoke Frontline. So I'm going to actually swap these attachments here. And actually it takes it off, so I actually need to go back here and remount it for my Klukai. But that is one thing that you're kind of having to think about here. And this is not just Klukai, but this is also the other units as well. So like in this case, I'm gonna be making a video on it tomorrow because I don't know what team I'm gonna fully utilize for it yet. But Macchiato may be who I bring over Cinerisi with my Burn team when it comes to my 4 units, bringing QJ, Sharky, Vector, and Macchiato. And there's a big core reason for that, and that is that Macchiato is going to make it much easier to trigger all 6 of QJ's support actions. Because with Vector at V1 right now, my QJ, when she does her ultimate, can do 6 support actions. And the only way to truly hit that is having someone that can do multiple attacks. Now, the big thing is, if my V6 Klukai or the borrowed one's in there, she's not going to trigger it. So that's already making it harder there. But then Macchiato, with her own support actions, can trigger it. Like I have a V1, Macchiato can trigger it 3 times in a single turn. And then I can have Vector that triggers it once, and then Sharky that triggers it once. So we can get it at least to 5 in that case. And so, and then I'll kind of have to mess it. I'll be making a video on that tomorrow. So this is Another thing I have to think about is I may not be bringing my Cinerisi, for example. So there may be some cases where I may want to shift some of her common keys around from that, as well as maybe maximizing my Macchiato. Now, in this case, I don't really have to worry about that, because Macchiato's kind of isolated from sharing anything from these. She wants, like, all of her gear is sniper stuff and that, so I at least don't have to worry about that. But that is something you may want to think about within your own team. But yeah, that's pretty much the main thing here is when building these formations, the main thing that they are a very big advantage for is the Gunsmoke Frontline, because it's so tedious to swap this stuff around. So you just want to make sure you take into consideration your main 4 people of it and min-max them, even if you're at the expense of the overall team of 6, simply because you're almost certain, in 90% of cases, you're never going to use all 6 of these units. This is just so you have quick access to them when you go into a fight, as we showed before. So like if I save this preset, let's just go into a fight. How it's going to work when you get into Gunsmoke Frontline. It's not available currently for me to show it there, but I can show it here by just going into a quick fight. Doesn't really matter, I'll just quit out. Is you actually pick the units. Now you're going to do this at the selection screen rather than in a fight. So in the selection screen, you'll have to pick it right here. But when you're in the Gunsmoke Frontline, you'll pick, hey, I'm going to be doing my burn team. You select your burn team, and then you pick your units you're going to want to use out of that 6. So like in the case of this one, I would be like, bam, I want my QJ, I want my Sharkery, I want my Vector, I want my Macchiato, and then my borrowed unit is going to be a Klukai, and that's going to be my Gunsmoke Frontline team. So I'm ignoring these 2 units, so I don't really have to care about them as much when it comes to building them. Let's get back to the main screen here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's kind of you kind of understand it once you actually start Gunsmoke Frontline, when you're like, oh, I'm not bringing this unit. But I thought I'd just kind of bring it up now since it's something I was thinking about, because I had put like all my best stuff on Klukai. I was like, yeah, definitely. Besides QJ, Klukai is my second best damage dealer, so I should put all my stuff on her. But she's not actually going to be coming with my burn team in Gunsmoke Frontline, so I can strip her of most of her good stuff and just put some generic stuff on there for her for now. Now, the other big thing is, as you probably noticed, just as a tidbit, make sure that if you're bringing a Macchiato like I am in your burn team like this, or anything, that you have her expansion key equipped. I almost forgot to equip it on her in here, because it is a significant damage increase for Macchiato. Basically allows her to do that extra attack when she uses her ultimate, which in the burn team is also very good, because one of the negatives without it is when she does her ultimate, she doesn't actually do an attack to trigger QJ, so it actually reduces Q-Dage damage as well without the expansion key. The expansion key allows you to get that extra trigger from QJ. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to cover that real quick. But also, like I said in the beginning, my platoon is recruiting. Just go ahead to my Discord and go to the recruitment section if you're still looking to get an active platoon. One that's in the top 100 to top 50, and I'll look to get you in there. You just got to make sure you're daily active in the platoon activities. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.